Hello there lightsaber fans, my name is Aaron with Intergalactic Installs. Today we are going over the Sabers Graflex kit in the A New Hope configuration. This is installed with a custom Neopixel chassis with a Proffie 2.2, designed and installed by myself. This is my first install video, so it's only fitting that the very first lightsaber that I demonstrate is the very first lightsaber ever seen in the Star Wars universe. So without any further ado, let's go over the details. Alright, so taking a closer look here at this Graflex Saber kit from Sabers, comes in this fantastic box, kind of matte black, sort of a wireframe of this Graflex Saber. So taking the cover off, we are left with the box here. I did have to kind of chop away at some of the foam just because I did attach the grips to the saber. But what comes in the kit is your 18650 removable battery. You have your Sabers challenge coin. Very cool here. And then two of the screws that come with the switch PCB. This is how they were originally mounted to the saber. I did glue the switches down instead of using these screws, but wanted to kind of leave them with the kit as it came. So taking the saber out of the box, we can set this aside. So this is our Graflex saber in the A New Hope configuration. I'm not going to go over all of the details here because Cal did an excellent job in his video on his channel. But here we can see it's in the A New Hope configuration. So you have power is this red button back here. Auxiliary is this slide switch, which is actually a tactile switch. So you press down instead of sliding it down like on a typical Graflex. You have your A New Hope glass eye here. You have the two brass pins here. And then you can kind of see the stock Eco connector down there. This has the bubble strip from the A New Hope configuration. A clamp lever here, kind of lifted. I think in most shots it's kind of angled here. I like to kind of have it in an idealized kind of parallel function here. You have your 7 grips. These are symmetrical, again kind of idealized. And then you have the D-ring here in the A New Hope D-ring here. You have your sound venting here, kind of discreet. And then one thing I added here were the rivets. These rivets were not included in the kit, so I bought these directly from Wanawanga, and these are in the correct orientation. You have 2 large rivets here and 2 smaller ones here. So that's kind of the basics here. Getting to your chassis, you're going to lift this lever and then twist counterclockwise and pull. I like to go a little bit easy here, just to make sure I don't damage the chassis. But this is your chassis here. It's on a J-lock system, so you're going to twist clockwise and pull it out. So the basic look of this chassis was kind of inspired by the GA3 Designs Eco CC. This upper portion looks very similar to his. I kind of reverse engineered his upper portion. And then the bottom part was pretty much mine from scratch. So you do have 2 resin printed crystals in here, 2 brass rods on either side. I added these 2 little stripes to the top of the chassis design, as well as made this J-lock portion on the bottom a little bit longer, just to better engage with the saber. So there is some slight weathering on the saber, not too crazy on the chassis. Just some black wash kind of in the grooves just to bring out some of the accents. This says the Graflex in Arabesh. So this chassis features an OLED screen here, 31mm speaker. You have 2 10-pixel accent strips, one on either side. You have another accent strip on top of your Proffie board in here. Removable 18650 battery and your kill switch here. So this board cover is held in by magnets. You have 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top here. my logo in here, and there's the accent strip, and then easy access to your micro USB and SD card. So you will need some tweezers to access the SD card, but if they're thin enough, they can slide in or grab the card, no problems. And then for the micro USB, you're going to need a 90-degree data cable just to get kind of access to it. So again, board cover, held in with magnets, really nice snap fit, and it's a flush fit too. So nothing sticks out, nothing protrudes. Really nice kind of satisfying click here. So no exposed wiring, all your wiring is through these two brass tubes. And this chassis connector here is what connects to the inside of the saber to kind of bring power up to the buttons and to the blade. So when you're ready to go, take your removable battery. We have a negative sign and a positive sign here. So the flat side goes up and the nub side goes down. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but once you get your negative in, your positive will snap in, and then you're good to flip your kill switch.
What a piece of junk!
So you're going to get your crystals kind of pulsing here. You're going to get your Proffie OS version down here. Your battery level is going to show up on this OLED. So full bars towards the top, fully charged battery, and your bars will kind of drop as your battery level goes down. So you have kind of your LEDs dancing around here and kind of a kit scanner function. These are wired in parallel, just different directions. So they're going to do the same thing. They're going to mirror each other. So gestures, you have twist on. You can have a crystal animation down here, and your LEDs are going to kind of pulse in opposite directions. And then you're going to get that rotoscope of your two crystals. You have your smooth swing here, and then I have twist off, and then your LEDs are going to kind of cool down. So they're going to go white to orange to red, and then go back to their little kit scanner function. You have some other gestures. You have thrust on, there, again twist off, and then swing on as well. So really responsive, really cool. Nothing beats that smooth swing. And then this is the quietest battery or the quietest volume setting. So just so you guys can hear my voice. But again, twist off. You can see that battery level drop while the blade is on, and then usually it turns back up. Maybe not right now. But to insert it into your hilt, you're going to kind of line up that J track with your bubble strip, and then twist counterclockwise to lock it in. And then we can put on the lower cover. So line up another J lock here with those two little cutouts here. Line that up and then twist clockwise, and then kind of pull the two apart. Put your clamp lever down and it's not going to go anywhere. So your power is your top button, auxiliary is your side button here, and this is a button, not a slide switch like it typically is on like a real Graflex. And then while the saber is off, you'll hit your auxiliary to switch fonts. So there are two fonts loaded on here. Well, one font, technically, two different versions of it. So Kyberphonics A New Hope Training V2 is on here. So we have both Obi-Wan's Hutt version as well as the Millennium Falcon Training version. So to switch fonts while the saber is not ignited, you'll just hit this auxiliary switch.
I suggest you try it again, Luke. This time, let go your conscious self and act on instinct.
So power on here. You're going to have kind of a greener glow. It's not going to show up too well on camera, but a little bit greener just because in some of the scenes in some of the movie release versions, Luke's lightsaber is a little bit greener on the Millennium Falcon. So that's why this is a little bit greener for this particular version of the font. But then the main version, kind of Obi-Wan's Hutt, I don't know if you can tell, it's a little bit bluer here, a little bit more of a light blue. Again, smooth swing, Blaster blocks is going to be just pressing auxiliary. Holding auxiliary and clashing is going to be lock up. And then lightning block is hold power, press auxiliary. It's gonna light up here. And then obviously flash on clash when you or the clash saber. So while the saber is on, hold power for 1 second to do quotes.
When I was going into Toshi Station to pick up these power converters.
And then while the saber is off, press it for 1 second to get tracks. Kind of rotate through, lock it in with power, and then press power for 1 second again to turn it off. So volume while the saber is off, hold power, click auxiliary. Clockwise is volume up, counterclockwise is volume down. Just a quick demo of how loud this thing is. Lock it in with power. So crazy, crazy loud at full volume. Again, power then aux, rotate, and click it again, and it's quiet again. So while the saber is on, color change is going to be hold aux, click power. And you can see here, it's gonna go through the spectrum. We'll go back to a light blue here, lock it in with power. So going over disassembly, it's pretty much just the opposite of assembling it. Going to flip your lever, twist, and then slowly pull out. And then since Proffie does not have a deep sleep function, you'll want to flip your kill switch. To take your battery out, I like using like a thin piece here. So either the back end of tweezers or a small screwdriver. It's a tight fit for the battery, but you can kind of pry it out and then take your battery out. So all reassembled, ready for a blade. A couple things I forgot to mention. Your blade retention is going to be this flathead screw here. So just loosen that up. Stick your blade in. You're going to want to bounce it up on those pins. Just kind of hold it down gently while you're tightening up this screw, and that'll tighten up your blade. And this does take a 1-inch blade. All right, so starting off again, you have your saber, you have your 1-inch blade. Start off by loosening up that blade retention screw just a little bit, just to allow the blade to kind of get into the blade holder. So you're going to want to squeeze the bunny ears just so that it can get through. And then you'll feel it bouncing up against those pogo pins. Once it's on, you can go ahead and tighten down your blade retention screw. Not super tight, just enough to secure it. But this thing is super, super sturdy once it is installed. So once you're here, hit power, and it lights up. So I do not have a Shoto blade, just the full length blade. But again, lights up great. All your blade effects, blaster block, lock up, it's going to move as you tilt it, and then lightning block, it's kind of all over, and twist off. That's the Obi-Wan Hutt version, and then the Millennium Falcon. It's a little bit greener. Might not show up too great on camera, but same blade effects. This is the hyper responsive rotoscope by Vet263. This is his original trilogy blade effect. So that's pretty much it. Again, to remove the blade, just reverse the process. So you'll back out your blade retention screw, take out your blade, and that's it. This saber, when I purchased this at that time, KR Sabers did not offer blade plugs. So this saber does not actually come with a blade plug, but I think it's okay because you're either going to be using it with a blade, or even when you're not, you can barely tell that it doesn't have the blade plug. And you can also get them on KR Sabers website for not too expensive. So that's going to pretty much wrap up this video. Thank you for watching, and to the customer, I hope you enjoy your KR Sabers Graflex in the A New Hope version with the custom chassis. Thanks for watching, and may the force be with you.